So, what do we actually know about the estimated 100 to 200 million tons of plastic currently in the oceans? Let's start with what we can observe. Because while we often say this plastic is floating, it's not just drifting randomly. Most of it follows predictable routes, driven by ocean dynamics. But first, here's something that might surprise you. According to current estimates, only about 15% of marine plastic stays along coastlines, where waves, tides, and human activity keep it visible. The remaining 85% is already in the open sea, and that's counterintuitive, because when we think of ocean plastic, we picture beaches covered in trash. That's where most photos are taken. That's where the problem feels real. But beaches are a visual bottleneck, not a reservoir. Most ocean plastic doesn't stay on shore. It gets dragged back out by wave action, tidal flows, and wind. And then, once offshore, it's caught in a vast global conveyor belt of ocean currents. Plastic on the surface tends to accumulate in massive circular current systems called ocean gyres. These gyres are created by a combination of prevailing winds, the Coriolis effect, due to Earth's rotation, and the shape of ocean basins. Together, they form vast, slow-moving whirlpools, thousands of kilometers wide. And once plastic enters one of these gyres, it tends to stay there. That's how we end up with major plastic accumulation zones, also called plastic traps. The best known of these is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, located in the North Pacific subtropical gyre. You've probably heard about it. It's become the most iconic image of marine plastic pollution. But what does it actually look like? Well, despite the name, it's not a solid island. It's more like a vast soup of plastic fragments. Fishing gear, packaging, bottle caps, foam, and endless microplastics. They're suspended in the upper layers of the water, scattered over an area estimated at 1.6 million square kilometers, nearly the size of Iran. Still, the total plastic mass in this area is estimated at 50,000 to 150,000 tons. That's huge. But in perspective, if we accept the upper range, 200 million tons of plastic in the oceans, this patch holds less than 0.1% of it. So what does that tell us? It tells us that most ocean plastic is invisible. Sure, we have hot spots, areas of high concentration like the gyres, but in reality, the pollution is diffuse. Plastic is spread across the entire marine system. Some of it floats, some of it sinks, and much of it moves through the water column, depending on density, shape, and biofouling. This makes cleanup incredibly difficult. That's why projects like the Ocean Cleanup focus on these high-density zones. If we're going to remove plastic from the oceans, these are the places where it's technically feasible and logistically efficient to do so. And they've made progress. Tens of thousands of kilograms have been extracted so far, using autonomous barriers and support ships. A remarkable achievement, and one that deserves recognition. But let's stay grounded. Even under ideal conditions, surface cleanup can only target a small fraction of total ocean plastic. It doesn't recover microplastics, and it doesn't reach the deep sea or mid-water layers, where much of the pollution quietly accumulates. Which brings us to the next question. If so little of the ocean's plastic is visible, how much of it has already broken down into microplastics? That's what we'll explore in the next episode.